Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Friday. Congratulations. You've made it Friday right here on Fantasy Life, Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you for the next couple of hours, getting you ready and answering all your questions for week 8. Any questions that you have, please send them our way because we know, as we said all week, Adam, we were getting ready for Bye-Mageddon. 6 teams on a bye. We've got some really good flex options for you if you need them, some quarterback streamers that you can go and pick up, a little bit of news, and of course going through all the start sits that we can. How you doing? How's it going?
It's good. Yeah, like you said, it's Friday, so always a good day. So you're going to tell people to leave work
Yeah,
early.
noon. Yeah,
Yeah,
lunchtime. Go to lunch, don't come back. And that's fine. We deserve that. It's been a long week.
it has. It definitely feels like a long week. I don't know why.
It's because the Mariners lost. That's why.
Oh yeah, for you, I
Yeah,
forgot about
yeah.
that. Seems
That
so
was,
long ago.
yeah, no kidding. It's taken years off my life, to
Well,
be
the World
totally
Series
honest with you.
does start
Yeah,
tonight,
they start tonight. What time is that game? No one cares, but
8 p.m. Eastern, I believe.
oh,
Yeah.
5? I love that. Go Dodgers. Can I get a go Dodgers?
Go Blue Jays.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ah,
Come
jeez.
on.
It's because you like Vlad. That's why.
Well, also, look, I don't hate the Dodgers, but I don't want to see them win again.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
You're just
Other than that,
bitter. It's all right. I get it.
yeah, 1,000%. I will say it every single day. Yeah, I'm
Okay, to
bitter.
be fair though, last year after the Mets lost to the Dodgers, I was rooting for the Dodgers to win the World Series.
Oh, because it
They
hurts
play the
less when
Yankees.
you.
Come on, yeah, I'm never
That's
rooting
true.
for that
You were
team.
never. Well, you loved how that series ended. To be totally
Yeah, I
honest
was
with
fine
you,
with that.
it was good. We've got a great show planned out for everyone today. We're breaking down everything that we saw on Thursday night football last night. Not as entertaining as the other Thursday night games that we've gotten before in the past. Both, everyone was saying that yesterday. But Justin Herbert dominated in this game. Carson Wentz not so much. So the Los Angeles Chargers did turn things around in this one. Herbert threw 3 touchdown passes, won this game 37-10 against the Minnesota Vikings. And man, they got to Wentz. He was obviously frustrated in this one. Did you see him throwing his helmet on the sideline and just grimacing? I mean, he was sacked 5 times. He was intercepted once, and it feels like he started to feel the effects of that because he really was getting banged up back there. But he's been filling in for JJ McCarthy since he injured his ankle in week 2, and it obviously this just was not a good performance from them all the way around.
Yeah, this is absolutely horrendous because it took a lot of fantasy players down,
Yep.
especially the run game. They could just never establish the run, and then they were down 21-3 at the half, and it just nullified the run game. So we did see the return of Aaron Jones, 5 carries for 15 yards, 2 catches for 15 yards. Jordan Mason, my goodness, if you started him
Brutal.
this week, it's basically like he had a bye week because 4 carries for 3 yards and a 3 yard catch. So just brutal for the running game. And I'm sure a lot of people had to start both, or definitely
Yeah,
people started Mason. I know I did. So
I
that
did
was
too.
horrendous. I mean, that's as bad as it gets to put a guy in and you get nothing in a bye week too. 6 teams on bye.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's nothing you could do though. I mean, yeah, Jones played more than Mason, but I think part of that was they were playing from behind. He's more of the pass catching back, and this is the problem with a running back that's reliant on game script or a touchdown. If this happens, then it's disaster and you get nothing. So, yeah, Mason was targeted once, Jones was targeted 4 times, but yeah, it happens. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do. But this was the worst case scenario for the Minnesota run game yesterday.
And they were just, I mean, the Chargers defense really came alive in this one. And it was, I mean, the Vikings were 2 of 9 on third down, had less than 140 yards of offense before that garbage time started in the fourth quarter. And like I said, Wentz was just pressured the whole time. They gave up just 18 rushing yards before. Again, we saw just garbage time, a little bit of action there. And again, shout out to the Chargers defense because it really did look like the defense that we saw from last season. But this feels like now they got that game done, and it feels like they're going to eye McCarthy for a week 9 start, right? It just feel that way? If he's the thing that they've always said, and Kevin O'Connell has said, is that JJ McCarthy can return, not only when he's ready, but they've always wanted him to get a full week of practice. So we thought maybe it would be this week, but it was a short turnaround with this Thursday night game. But again, we don't know what that's going to bring. I just know that at this point, Adam, they probably have to see what they have in him. If he is fully healthy and ready to go, it's not necessarily going to be the easiest schedule for him moving forward either, especially if that offensive line looks like that. They take on the Lions, then they take on the Raven. No, yeah,
Yeah.
the Lions, the Ravens, the Bears, the Packers.
The
So again, not necessarily
Seahawks, I
the
mean, they're in
Seahawks, the
trouble.
Commanders. Oh
Their
yeah,
schedule
oh
is one
yeah,
of the most difficult in
not
the
good.
NFL. So you're throwing McCarthy right into the fire, and I think that's the issue. You saw Wentz get beat up, and the offensive line just continues to. Christian Darrisaw comes back and
Hmm.
leaves. So
Yep,
I think they're worried about McCarthy taking a beating. I think he was sacked 9 times in the 2 games that he started too. So that's the biggest
sounds
issue at
about
this
right.
point. So, but I mean, you can't go back to Wentz at this point. I mean, I don't even know if he'll
No.
be healthy to go out there.
He'll probably say no. He'll be like, "No, get me out of what are you talking about? Get me out of there." The protection did not help him at all in that game last night. And yeah, it's just the Chargers again, they looked good on this one. I was surprised with the Vikings cuz the Chargers run defense ranked 30th in success rate going into this game. That was one of the other worst parts besides the quarterback play. You have a team that's ranked a defense I should say ranked 30th in success rate and the Vikings ran the ball 9 times for 18 for like 18 whatever it was. It's just that was disappointing. So anyone that started Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones, you're already a little bit in the hole here. But yeah, McCarthy too. I have this issue, Adam. So I'll tell you, I've got Jalen Hurts, who this is why we say always look ahead, at least with your quarterback, see when they're on a bye. So I've got Jalen Hurts in one league, and I know that he has a bye in week 9. My backup quarterback is JJ McCarthy. And I think a lot of people are going to have this issue where I've just waited to see if he was able to come back. But I've got a bid in on someone else this week because I don't know if I'm going to want that. I'm in the hole too. Like I don't have, I'm not even yet. I'm 3-4. So I have to figure out what to do here. And I'm a bit nervous about it. Let's just say that.
You should be. You should be very nervous. But yeah, you can't count on McCarthy, even if he does start.
No.
Like, what's that going to look like? So I would go in a different direction at this point.
You want to trade JJ McCarthy for, you want to give me anything?
What league
This
is
is for
this?
GST.
Oh, well, there's no trades, but yeah, I'll give you Justin Fields.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Hey, he could still start
Oh
this
wait, I
week. We don't
dropped him.
know.
My bad.
Oh,
I
did
dropped him.
you?
Yeah.
Did you?
He
Did
has a bye
someone pick
next
him
week
up?
too, even if he
Oh, someone picked him up then.
No, I just dropped him on when waivers ran on Wednesday.
Wow, I've got my answer here. You know how sick
He's
it
on
is
bye
where
next week.
I don't. Oh, dang it. Is he?
Yes.
Uh, yeah. Next week it is the Browns, the Jets, the Eagles, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just don't want to keep. We've got a couple questions on JJ McCarthy already. Of like, hey, this is my backup. At least people have been able to play someone else in single quarterback leagues. Obviously, it's a way bigger conversation when we're talking about super flex, but I don't know if I want to wait. And it could backfire. JJ McCarthy could come back and just look very put together and continue on and do well as the season progresses. But for me, Adam, in that team, I don't have time to wait for it. I just need a bye week filler, and then I need to go back to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people have waited around on McCarthy, but it doesn't look good with this offensive line at this point.
Yeah, it was just bad. But Oronde Gadsden, you want to talk about? Hey, we should have put. I told you we should have put him in the parlay.
Yeah.
That we're making the anytime touchdown tight end parlay because it's National Tight Ends Day on Sunday. But he had himself a day, 18.7 fantasy points. Kimani Vidal had a 117 rushing yards off 23 carries and a touchdown. That was good for 19 fantasy points. Lad McConkey came through 20 fantasy points. And like I said, Justin Herbert had a really nice day, completed 18 to 25 for 227 and those 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Also used his legs too. He had 7 carries for 62 yards. So as much as the Vikings didn't look good on the other side, the Chargers really turned things around after kind of a dud game going up against the not a dud game, but a game that they expected and wanted to win at home last week going up against the Colts.
Yeah, Gadsden has been amazing, and he was a huge pickup in many leagues this past week. I was able to get him in one league last week, and I was questioning, looking around, do I pick him up? Is he gonna get enough snaps? Is he gonna get enough targets? I already have like 2 good tight ends. And I kind of just wish I just went in and said, you know what, just take the talent, because I think that was the biggest concern for people is looking at these receivers, would there be enough? Now, he only had 5 targets, but this game was over. So they
Yeah.
didn't need to do much in the second half. All of his production came in the first half. 5 for 77 and a touchdown. It's 3 straight good games now. And he still ran the most routes on the team, too. That's the crazy
Yeah.
part. He ran more routes than all the receivers. So he is going to stay involved. It's obviously hurting Quentin Johnston, who 2 weeks in a row now, since
Man.
coming off the injury, has not performed well. He still did run 27 routes, which was third on the team behind Gadsden and McConkey, but not getting any looks. And you figured someone was going to suffer. If Gadsden is going to be this consistent performer, there's no way that all of these guys can produce every single week. So I think we feel better about Lad McConkey now, who's becoming more consistent. He did have a pass hit his helmet, but he's getting
Right.
open. He's going to produce. But Gadsden, man, boy, I know I spent some money on him in a few leagues and actually flexed him in a couple because I had some
Nice.
good other tight ends. But yeah, he was a guy that if you picked him up, you needed to get in your lineup. And this is now 3 straight really good games, and it doesn't look like he's going to go away.
No, I mean, when you're looking at someone playing 87% of the offensive snaps over the first 3 quarters, that is someone that they wanna keep involved, early and often. And he just looked good while doing it. You can tell the connection between him and Justin Herbert is there as well. So, yeah, it stings for Quentin Johnston, manager, really for everyone else because everyone goes down in this situation. But Quentin Johnston getting you absolutely nothing in this game, and even Keenan Allen. I saw a write up saying that Keenan Allen he dipped below a 50% snap rate.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's one where
But I
you were
think what
relying on
did
him a
you
lot.
but what did you just say? Hey, that was more of the second half. They had a big lead. He's a
Yeah,
veteran. It's a short week.
the
Like,
garbage time stuff,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I hope so because I've got it my guillotine leagues are a little bit shaky right now to be totally honest with you because he's at least given you good production. But yeah, this was the week where you saw him and you said it, they just didn't need him as much. So he played, yeah, this was the first week. The first week was in week 2 where he played the season low 55.2% of the offensive snaps, but this one was even less. So
I mean,
it's a good problem for the Chargers to have, but not
they
for
ran the ball
fantasy.
43 times, and most
Yeah.
of it obviously was in the second half. Herbert only completed 18 passes because, again, everything was pretty much done early. They didn't need to do much. And you mentioned Vidal. Wow, what a game for
Mhm.
him. I mean, he looked really good, breaking tackles and refusing to go down. It got off to a slow start because he didn't do much early, and then he really started to get going. And I think it's another example of how some of these running backs, you got to feed them. We see too many running backs only getting 10 carries and they can't get going. And, you see a situation here where Vidal got fed and just put up really big numbers. And almost everyone had to start him this week, I would
Oh
think,
yeah.
with 6 teams on bye. So you got a great game from him.
It was great to see. Well, they needed Joe Alt back, that left tackle.
Yes.
It was obvious that this was his first game back since week 4, week 3. One of those week. I think it was week 4. And he was obviously one that really stabilized this offensive line. And you saw it in pass protection, you saw it in the run game, like you just said with Vidal. They put up over 400 yards of offense, and then, like I said, a 100-yard rushing game from Vidal. So yeah, you just hold on to him until Amari and Hampton returns, which I would love that to be sooner rather than later, Adam. But who knows what they're going to do in that situation because they've got a bye week a little bit later this year as well. So it
Yeah,
might be a situation where
there was
if
a
you have him,
report
yeah,
that Hampton was in the locker room with a boot on still.
ugh,
So
they have a week 12 bye.
yeah, we might not see him till week 13.
I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, if he
Yeah.
still has the boot on and everything,
Yeah.
yeah. And they want to keep him healthy for, a little bit of a push in that division. I mean, we talk about the Chiefs all the time, but I mean that it's still, it's still tough and it's still a little bit clumped together. But yeah, they've got a week 12 bye with the Broncos, the Chargers, the Dolphins, and the Commanders. That means we don't have to watch the Dolphins on prime time for 1 week at least. That's week 12, Adam. So there you go. I'm
Yeah,
telling
it's
you.
time to flex them out
I'm
everywhere.
telling you, what is going on? All right. Anything else in that game that we missed? No, I think that was good. No, I
Yeah,
think
that
we
was
got
good.
everything. Yeah. Sorry, Quentin
Jordan
Johnston,
Addison
man.
scored a touchdown,
Oh,
so he
yeah, yeah,
saved
yeah.
his day. He just scores touchdowns every single
He
week, and
really does.
and you know Jefferson did have 7 for 74, but he's got 1 touchdown on the season.
He's not paying off his ADP. Let's just
No,
say that, at least
again,
for
the
right now.
floor is high every week, but you didn't spend a fifth, sixth, seventh pick for a high floor. And
No,
his touchdown came in week 1. He has not scored since
brutal.
week 1.
14.4 fantasy points for Justin Jefferson, and then 11.6 for Jordan Addison. Yeah, it's not a good situation. And like we said, they don't have the easiest schedule coming up. At Detroit, going up against Baltimore, Chicago, at Green Bay, at Seattle, and then Washington before. Now, I will say their playoff schedule for fantasy is not bad. They go up against Dallas, they go up against the Giants, and then week 17 a little bit tougher, but they go up against Detroit. So maybe we could at least have flashes there for the Vikings.
Maybe, who knows if they're what their offensive line looks at that
Oh my
point.
goodness. They looked so bad last night. No wonder they haven't rushed JJ McCarthy back in there. He's just going
Yeah,
to be running for his life.
they sacrificed Wentz instead.
He was so pissed off. I don't know if you were watching fully, but he was just really upset, which is understandable.
Well, he was
But
in pain too.
yeah, I would be too. So we'll see if you think JJ McCarthy, we get him next week. This is a mini
Yeah,
bye right now. Technically, I mean, the Thursday night game, they get a little bit more time.
yeah, I would think so.
Oof. All right. Well, I'm gonna drop him. Someone else can go deal with that. Last one here that I already see questions on it at Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis over there on X. If you have Lamar Jackson, you are already hopefully holding on to another quarterback, but he was limited again in practice yesterday. Are you worried if we get another limited practice today, or do you think he's going to be good to go?
My guess he's going to play again. We talked about it with the Vegas lines and everything. The expectation is he's going to play. They would not be favored by 6.5 and a 28.5 team total if Lamar was not playing.
Thank goodness. Because my guillotine leagues, Adam, someone that I spent money on. I just have to stop buying quarterbacks in guillotine
Yeah,
leagues
you're
because
the curse.
I know I spend money on Joe Burrow. He goes down the next week. I spend money on Lamar Jackson. He goes down. So I think I'm just going to roll with my bad quarterbacks in guillotine leagues and see what happens. But we'll continue watching those injury reports, especially today for some of those key fantasy players going into week 8. But we have the biggest questions that we have to go through. I want to talk about the Eagles. And if you believe that they're going to build on that strong passing performance. We did not see A.J. Brown practicing yesterday. Are we worried about that? Want to talk about the Cowboys and the Broncos and more here coming up next. This is Fantasy Life right here. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you on this Friday, answering as many questions as we can get to and going through the biggest Week 8 questions here at Valenzuela17 at Adam Ronis. If you want to send them in, I see a couple coming in here, Adam, that we'll get to. So appreciate everyone hanging out with us today on this Good Friday. So we're going to go through some Week 8 questions here. One of the biggest ones, I think, for everyone, I feel like we ask this question every week, Adam, is what kind of team we're going to get from the Eagles this week. But last week, you were very happy with what you got from them. Jalen Hurts had the 94.9 PFF passing grade. You had Devontae Smith. You had A.J. Brown combining for 304 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. And they will be looking for their revenge going up against this Giants team. Let's just say that. It's going to be, I think, much more difficult for the Giants coming into this game. That doesn't mean that I don't think that they're going to put up some good numbers. Jackson Dart is my QB 12 this week going into it. But this is going to be another fun matchup. But we can start on the Eagles side. A.J. Brown was not participating in practice yesterday. It was that hamstring injury. Saw reports that he was, running off to the side at least. But are you worried about that? And do you think we actually, get to build on the strong passing performance that we got last week?
The only concern is that the Eagles have a bye next week, so they can be cautious here. They're in a spot where, I mean, they don't need the game, and they could probably win without A.J. Brown, so that's my concern. But we'll see. I think if he shows up to practice today, even if he's limited, then I wouldn't worry about it. And obviously, it is a big factor because, again, it's a big bye week. And I think when people were doing their waiver wire, we had no idea that we'd be here on a Friday questioning whether A.J. Brown would suit up. So now you would have to seek a replacement. But let's see what the practice reports are today. This does feel like a game, though, where they're going to feed Saquon Barkley and get him going. The passes kind of open things up now. And I don't know what happened in that first game against the Giants because Barkley, his first 2 carries went for 31 yards. And then
Yeah.
I know they fell behind, but it's not like they were down like 20 in that game. So they kind of abandoned the run. And again, they've had difficulty running all season. But I think here against the Giants, they might look to get Barkley going.
Which we would love to see, to be honest. All the stats that we've talked about this year about Saquon Barkley just being so not efficient, not effective. And we, listen, this is the conversation we had last year, Adam, because it was saying, okay, Barkley had 482 touches last season, and that could have, snapped a little bit of his explosiveness this year. The Eagles' run blocking, though, has taken a huge step backwards. I mean, they've really been hit here where they just haven't been good. So Barkley has been fantasy's RB 18 through 7 weeks and has not produced one top 5 RB weekly finish. If I would have told you that months ago, would you have taken that bet that he wouldn't have done that? It's just crazy to me. He hasn't even reached 100 yards from scrimmage. He did that
Yeah.
in 14 games last year.
Yeah. I mean, and he did it
It's
alone
nuts.
on rushing in 11 games last year. So, yeah, it's been a major disappointment because he stayed healthy and there's just been no production. And a lot of it is the offensive line. But again, I think in this matchup against the Giants, he had his best yards per carry of the season outside of the game where he only had 6 carries for 30 yards, average 5, but 4.8 yards per carry against the Giants. So
Mhm.
this might be a game where they look to get him going, and maybe you see 20 touches in this game for him.
Should we put him in our tight end anytime
No,
touchdown parlay just to get
no,
it? Come on. What do you mean? Why?
no, I'm not. I don't
They
want
don't.
that.
What are you talking? Fine. All right. Fine. I just wanted him to score a touchdown. So just know that Adam
I,
Ronis
I,
is
I
not for
really
the
don't
people.
care. I don't have him, so he can stay.
For the listeners, you don't care. We gotta give him a touchdown.
I think
I'll
most
put it in
Barkley
mine.
teams are probably toast.
Oh, you think? No.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I
I don't
know
know.
that's
Those first round picks have not necessarily been amazing across the board, to be totally honest.
that is true.
I mean, like
If you
there were some big duds this year out of the first
so
round.
like Jamar Chase has, you wouldn't say he's a dud, right?
No, no, especially not now. I mean, it
Yeah,
feels like it could get
Gibbs
better.
hasn't been, Bijan hasn't been, Lamb's missed time, so that's hurt.
It's the receivers.
Jefferson only 1 touchdown. Barkley obviously
Saquon,
been brutal.
Nico
Neighbors hurt.
Collins. Yeah,
Uh,
Nico.
I
ARSB
mean,
not
Nico
bad.
didn't go into every first round, but yeah, he's been a disappointment. Brian
Ashton.
Thomas been a disappointment. I
I
mean,
saw
some of
Ashton
the
Genty by the end.
yeah, Genty obviously.
Yeah,
St. Brown has been good.
brutal.
Drake London went first in some. Puka Nakua went
Ugh.
first in some. So yeah, there
You
was a
know,
variation depending on when you drafted. But yeah, there's been some disappointments there for sure, or underwhelming.
we just needed to draft Christian McCaffrey. That was the
Yeah,
answer. And
yeah,
here we
apparently
are going
so.
into week 8. Don't you just hate when that happens? Shout out to anyone that has CMC though, because that is just a cheat code. Going over to another cheat code is basically when we talk about the Dallas Cowboys and any team facing them, we say, all right, start everyone that you can. But this is an interesting matchup here, at least between a really good offense for us and a really elite defense. So the Broncos were expected going into this year to be one of the best defenses. They've held up at them. They're 5th in EPA per play allowed. The Cowboys, though, on the other side, 2nd in EPA per play. So Dak Prescott for you has really lifted this Dallas Cowboys offense. I know you took him I wouldn't say a lot, but you took him in a good amount of drafts. I know you have a lot of CeeDee Lamb. I took Dak in a few as well. So what are your expectations in this game, especially when you have someone like Patrick Surtain, who has been so locked down again this season? What should anyone with, let's start with George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, because we know that Dak Prescott's going to try and get it to him, but this is a tougher matchup for them.
Yeah, I think you're playing them all. I don't see how you can sit them at this point. With Sertan, I don't think he's going to shadow one. I think when Lamb is in the slot, he'll probably be on Pickens. And when Lamb's outside, he might be on Lamb. So I think it's going to be a combination. So I'm playing both. I know usually we look at Sertan and we're very worried, but I would be surprised if he shadowed one of them. I think I'm playing both. I just
Yeah.
think at this
Oh,
point
yeah.
you got to play. I know the Denver defense is good, but the Dallas offense is also a tough matchup for opponents. Let's not forget. I mean, Denver allowed the Giants to go up and down the field with no talented skill players,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, yeah, I think at this point with Dallas, you just got to play all these guys.
Yeah, I agree. And if you have the I don't know if anyone has the luxury this week of being able to sit one of those, but CeeDee Lamb's definitely in your lineups. I mean, and for what it's worth, and we've talked about this with George Pickens. I mean, he's just had a really, really good start to the 2025 NFL season. I know that a lot of that's because CeeDee Lamb was down, but he's caught 36 passes, 607 yards, which is fourth before Thursday's game in the NFL, and then 6 touchdowns there. So he really did fill the void when CeeDee Lamb left. And yeah, Surtain is going to be out there. He's allowed 16 receptions, 166 yards when targeted. But this is one where I agree with you. I think they're going to move things around for CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, and we'll see what they're able to get on the running back front. I think you're doing the same thing, right? Javonte Williams, you're going to go ahead and get
The
him
revenge
started.
game. It's the
Yeah,
team that
revenge
let
game.
him go and had
He
no
has to
faith.
prove to them that he is not just a guy. And then on the other side, J.K. Dobbins. I mean, again, whenever we talk about the Cowboys defense, we just say, yeah, start everyone you can. Let's just do that.
Yeah, they've allowed the third most rushing yards per game. So Dobbins is in a good spot. I mean, Nix has been erratic. He really just had a big fourth quarter last week in that comeback against the Giants. 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns in the fourth quarter. But so I think you use Nix this week. It's as good a matchup as you can get. And I think even you can use a lot of their receivers. I know they kind of spread it around. We love Cortland Sutton. Obviously, he's in the best spot. But if you need to, the bye week came at the 6 week, 6 teams on a bye came at a good time. If you have guys like Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin, because they're capable of putting up good numbers in this game.
I really like Troy Franklin in this one today. We're going to go through our favorite flex plays, but I think he's a solid guy. If you have to, and I know a lot of us are just going to make uncomfortable lineup decisions this week because of all those teams that are gone. But he is one that I would highlight if you needed someone to fill that flex spot. Got a question here. Speaking of talking about Bo Nix, this is from Bobby. Said, love listening to you guys. Appreciate you. Is this the week that I play Nix over May? I still have Drake May one spot higher, but I understand because we broke down Drake May going up against this Cleveland Browns defense yesterday. I do think this is close though, because again, we say start anyone and everyone you can against this Dallas defense. I still say May, but what do you think?
Yeah, Eileen May, it is very close. So
It
like if
is.
he's like saying that he wants to go Knicks, like I wouldn't talk him out of it, but I would still, for me, if I'm making that decision, I would go May. He can still get it done on the ground, and yeah, it's a tough Browns defense, but I think they're going to win the game, and it's going to be on May's shoulder
Yeah.
because I don't think Stevenson's going to have a very efficient day running the football against the Cleveland Browns. He's going to be dependent on touchdowns, and we all know Travion Henderson is not allowed to be on the football field that often.
Well, I rage dropped him in one, so maybe he goes off this week. You think that'll help
Hopefully
people?
you sparked it because
I think I did. I'll
for
take
those that
full
kept up.
credit on Monday. Overreaction Monday is that was because of me if he does go off. But I agree with you again. Appreciate you listening in, Bobby. If it's close for you, if you have Knicks over May, we understand. I've got May just one spot higher in my rankings. This Patriots team, by the way, this is a tough 2 week stretch for them. They're really going to show us what they have. Taking on the Browns and then they take on the Falcons at home. Yeah, so it'll be good.
Yeah, Falcons defense has been
Man, they've been good.
unbelievable. I mean, when you go start to look at their stats, you'll just be amazed. They've pretty much shut down everyone. So, yeah, I think we said that about the Patriots in that game in Buffalo, and they went in and won.
Yeah.
And then they've bounced back, and yeah, not good teams, but they've also won 3 straight on the road, which is very difficult to do in the NFL, regardless of who you play. So now they get 2 straight home games and 3 out of 4. But yeah, they got to keep going and not get upset by the Browns if they want to be considered a contender in that AFC East.
Speaking of home and away games and splits between them, can we just really quickly, Darnell Mooney and how he's affecting Drake London right now? I know you and I mentioned this, but it was in a break yesterday. The splits that we see, though, are just absolutely crazy. Drake London has been fantasy's wide receiver 2 in games without Mooney this season. But when Mooney is in, he's been the wide receiver 28 in games with him. I think that is A crazy split. London has averaged 107.7 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns over 3 games at home. And Penix also at home is playing a lot better. He's averaged 287 passing yards, 8.6 yards per attempt. But when we see the splits of them in those away games, it really gets a lot worse. And so this week I feel like it's different, Adam, because they are going up and facing the Miami Dolphins, who we always say, you start everyone. It's another team that we pick on because their defense just does not step up. But it is crazy to see the splits. In the return last week for Mooney, he had a 25.2 ADOT, average depth of target, which was the highest mark among wide receivers with more than 2 targets. So to see Mooney's role, as a field stretcher kind of take away a little bit from, not a little bit, a lot of bit from Drake London and the splits between home and away, that was interesting to see, say the least.
Yeah, it's very weird because Mooney only has a 15.6% target share this year in the 4 games he's played, so it doesn't feel like it. But yeah, when you look at the numbers, I think it even goes back to last year that you do see London's numbers dip with Mooney on the field. But I don't know if there's anything you could do about that because you're clearly playing London.
Yeah.
Mooney has yet, though, to make a big impact in the box score. He hasn't scored a touchdown. And yeah, these big plays have really not come yet. So I mean, he's been hurt. He started the year with an injury, then he got hurt again, missed a week. So maybe he starts to get healthy and make those big plays downfield that they need.
But we're starting everyone because it is the Dolphins that seem like that is just a dumpster fire this year for them. I feel a little bit bad, but then sometimes I don't. I don't know. I don't
And
really feel that
also,
bad.
you got to keep an eye on Jalen Waddle, who is listed on the injury report with hamstring injury.
It's because he's going to get traded, right?
I don't know.
Or he just says, no way.
He's like,
No
you know
way.
what? I don't want to play. I always get banged up every
Ugh.
week
If
anyway, and now it's going to be worse. Let me just sit this one out.
If I have a week without Jalen Waddle or A.J. Brown, I'm going to scream. That will not be fun for some of my teams, but we have to just roll with it. So we'll keep an eye on those injury reports. Going to continue going through some of the biggest week 8 questions from you guys as well, and rankings, risers, and fallers. Who do we want to have in our lineups? Who should we be cautious about? We're going to break down those names here coming up next. Oh, this is Fantasy Life right here. Happy Friday, everyone. Getting you ready for all things week 8 across the NFL, answering all of your questions, or as many as we can, at Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis over there on X. You want a super flex question here, Adam? From
Oh boy, that could
Fantasy
be
Dad?
rough.
Well, no, one sits, all right? Baker Mayfield. Oh, wow, this is nice. Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix, or Daniel Jones. Wow, I wish I had that problem. I'm playing Baker, and I'm playing Bo Nix. Ooh, I don't know though. Daniel Jones? That's
I
really
guess the only issue with Jones is that game could be over pretty quickly, and it could be Jonathan Taylor. I mean, I am playing Jones in a league, so, but they're
If you had to pick one of those 3, he would be the one that sat, right? Jones?
Yeah.
I think so too. Don't you wish you had that problem in Superflex? That's really
Oh.
nice. I love when I hear these questions.
My Superflex team is
Wait, who are you rolling out this week?
Carson Wentz. Okay, so now
Oh,
that is
no.
probably toast. So I got to find someone. Bryce Young, who's now hurt. So Spencer Rattler. How am I? There's no chance I win this league.
If you win the league? No,
Yeah,
I thought you were going to
there's
say
no
win the
chance.
week. No. I'll let you know right now.
I'm
I'm
5
usually
and
a
2.
positive. Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could have a good run out though. At
I
least you give
guess.
yourself
I mean,
a good
I'm
lead.
gonna have
You were
to.
5 and you were 4-1 last week? No, 2 weeks. What? Did you lose last week? Did
No,
you end
I
up
won
winning?
last week. Wait, did I win
Really?
last week? I thought I'm
No
5 and 2.
way.
I know I'm 5 and 2.
Spencer Rattler's my QB 19. So it could be worse.
I
He's
mean,
going up against
no, it
Tampa.
can't. I mean, Wentz.
I don't know. You could be playing Cam Ward. That could be worse.
Actually, he has a job. I'd take that.
Stop.
No, I'm serious. Oh, I
probably go
did.
pick
I
him
lost
up.
last week, but I'm 5
Yeah.
and 2.
5 and 2 isn't bad though.
I
If
know
you have
with those quarterbacks. I mean, again, for those who are like, why'd you draft such bad quarterbacks? Joe Burrow was my first round pick, so that's why.
And then Bryce Young, who we
Bryce Young was my QB too. And
turn things around.
yeah.
Maybe he still can, but
Well, again, it
little
is
banged
super
up
flex,
there.
so you can start a non-quarterback. You don't want to, but I'm probably getting to that point in a few
Yeah,
weeks.
who could you start there?
Just a bunch of
Anyone?
yeah. I mean,
Random guys.
I do have Puka in that league, and
Okay,
Brian
so if he's
Thomas.
able to come back, I'm really hoping that he comes back
Yeah,
after this
that's what they're
week.
telling us, that he should be fine. He better be back fine in week 9.
Because you need him
Yeah,
desperately.
wait till next week, early in the week. It's like, oh
Yeah.
well, Puka's still not
Actually,
practicing
it's still
yet.
not good. I've got Devontae in a couple, so I'll be okay with it. But again, appreciate you, Fantasy Dad, sending in that message. All of our rankings are live. FantasyLife.com is where you can go 100% free. If you sign up at Comet, FantasyLife.com/Comet, COMET is where you want to go. If you want to get Fantasy Life Plus for free for 1 year, wanted to go through some rankings, risers, and fallers here, and some maybe guys that we're thinking could have good matchups this week, and maybe guys that we need to lower our expectations. You had already mentioned Ramondre Stevenson, but curious for you in this game, because we know that Stevenson has just taken over that New England backfield, right? 2 games without Antonio Gibson with that ACL injury. He's gone for the season. 74% of the snaps, 62% of the rushing attempts, and Travion Henderson is nowhere to be found, and he might not be found the rest of the season. But this is a tough matchup. Let's just say it how it is. This is a tough matchup for him, which is why I still have Drake May a little bit ahead of others, because I think that they're going to have to, like you said, Adam, really utilize him, put a lot on his shoulders to win this game. What are your expectations for Stevenson this week?
They're not high. Again, this matchup is very difficult. Cleveland has allowed the second fewest fantasy points to the running back position, and the only 2 running backs to have decent yards against them are Jameer Gibbs and Devon Achane, and they are 2 of the better backs in the NFL. Every other back has been held to 52 rushing yards or fewer, and even in the passing game, they don't give up much. I mean, they held Achane to 3 for 16.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough for Stevenson this week. Again, with 6 teams on bye, you probably don't have better options, and you're going to have to play him. You just hope that he can find the end zone and get you a touchdown. That is what you're hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, that's we said that about Jordan Mason a couple weeks ago, and it did happen. So you
Yeah.
kind of just have to close your eyes and say, all right, let's see what we can do here, because you mentioned it. I mean, the Cleveland defense has allowed the fewest yards and fantasy points to running backs. One running back this season has cleared 13.1 points against the Browns, and that was Jameer Gibbs, who I don't think we can say is a one-for-one comparison here, Adam, between Jameer Gibbs and Ramondre Stevenson. That was Gibbs's 17.7 game week 4. So he is I mean, he's still an RB2 again, because of all the running backs on a bye this week. Every team, all those 6 teams gone. But there is more risk with what we're going to see. And maybe because I am benching and, getting rid of Travion Henderson, maybe he does a little bit more here. But I would not hold my breath for it.
That
But
would be
would that not
the
be hilarious?
that would be crazy, because everyone's like last week, oh, the Titans, it's a good matchup. He'll finally get an opportunity to
Yeah.
do something. And then against one of the toughest run defenses is when he has like 10 carries for 84 yards and a touchdown.
It wouldn't be funny for me, but I would be happy for everyone else. Let's just say that we get the Josh Allen led Buffalo Bills back this week from their bye as well. One of my Oh my goodness, Adam, one of my worst starts, I think. Well, not one of the worst, but at the very top might be Keon Coleman. I do have to get him in some lineups this week, just because I am really, really, really hurting with the wide receiver injuries and the bye this week. But I thought, listen, at the beginning of the year, I should say, Keon Coleman might have been more, or should have been more incorporated into this offense. And they just continued to throw the ball around and just pass it to everyone else. He has averaged 4.8 targets, 6.5 fantasy points per game since week 2. We thought that I know Dwayne wrote a great article on potential breakouts, and really highlighted why Keon Coleman could be that guy. But there was one game where he gave us double digit fantasy points since the season started. It just hasn't been good for him.
It's been absolutely atrocious. He had that big week 1. People got excited, and I wasn't excited. Even with that, I was like, yeah, that was a game too where they had to pass a lot too. And I remember even saying like, okay, how many weeks is Buffalo going to have to do this? That was the 41-40 game against Baltimore, where Allen had 46 pass attempts and 394 yards. Like, that's not going to happen many times this year. They're just not.
Yeah.
They don't play that way. They're not built to play that way. And they're coming off a 2-game losing streak too. But I guess the loss to the Falcons doesn't look as bad now with the way the Falcons defense is played. Still not what you want to see if you're Buffalo. You shouldn't be putting up 14 points. you want to be a Super Bowl contender. And the Panthers' run defense has really been good the last few games.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, Keon Coleman, it's just, you're just not going to get consistency from him. It's not going to happen. Again, they spread the ball out way too much in this offense. They don't look to get him the ball and make him a primary focus. So, yeah, it's 45 receiving yards or fewer in 5 straight games.
It's horrible. I was looking through his stats last night, and it was just I was just shaking my head. I mean, the only lineup blocks really in this one are Allen, James Cook, and then maybe a little Tedero McMillan. Really quick, your expectations for Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle. I know the game script in this one might not be the best for them going up against Josh Allen, but I mean, the Buffalo Bills have struggled against running backs. They've allowed a league high 5.4 yards per carry and 8 touchdowns, which is the 4th most. I feel like if you have either of them, just because of everything we said, you're going to hear us mention the bye a lot this today, but because of everything going on, you're probably going to play both, but it's not a horrible spot, I guess, for either of them.
No, Bills have not been great against the run. 6th most fantasy points allowed to the position. So, yeah, I think you could start both. I thought Dowdle was better last week than Chuba. They basically alternated drives. We'll see if they do that again, or do they go with the hot hand? Last week, the hot hand was Dowdle, and they still went back and forth. But yeah, I think you can play them. I don't see Carolina like getting blown out here.
No, we just need fantasy points. That's all we need ever, Adam, is for
Yes,
teams
and
to consider us. I don't know why
Buffalo's
they don't do that more
usually not a
often.
good source.
I know. Well, unless you have James Cook, right?
Yeah.
That's the only and Josh Allen. That's the only positives that you can see there. All right, we're gonna go through some streamers that you can look for in Week 8. Also, we have to build this parlay. So maybe we start building this anytime touchdown for tight ends for National Tight Ends Day. We're gonna do all of that here coming up next. This is Fantasy Life right here, getting you ready for Week 8, going through some streamers that you can maybe look at as options because we know it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable of a weekend in fantasy football, but you've got this. You can go to fantasylife.com, get all of our rankings, all of our projections, everything you need to continue dominating those leagues. And of course, we're gonna put together the anytime touchdown parlay, Adam. We have to do it for the tight ends. Well, people can send us their suggestions too. At Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis. We had a few of them say yesterday, Gadsden. We should have listened. But
yeah, it's just, are we counting Thursday and Monday? That's the thing, because isn't it National Tight End Day?
Okay, but
Or is
it's like Travis Kelce's holiday, so we're not going to put him on, even though it's Monday?
He's toast. He's done. He's engaged, and it's over for him.
Well, we said that same thing for birthday week, and he scored on his birthday, or the day after, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's going to be tough for now.
Think about it. Just think about it. Streamers, really quick here. Joe Flacco obviously is probably one at the very top if you can get him. Do you hate Aaron Rodgers this weekend? Again, revenge game. I've seen him up there. He's 34% rostered. So again, depending on what kind of league you're in, he might not be there, but doesn't feel like a bad mark for him. I will say because of, all the teams that are gone this week, he's my QB 15 going up against Green Bay.
Are you asking if I hate him personally? Or
well,
just
no. We don't. Do we hate him personally? You know him personally?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm not like everyone else. There's so many people.
A lot of people
him.
Don't. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I was talking more on a football level, if you
okay.
May, for Week 8.
Look, this is a revenge game too, right? Facing his old team.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough to run on Green Bay, so I think they actually might rely on Rodgers in this game. So yeah, I think he's someone that you can stream this week. He's definitely like right outside the QB ones this week.
I think Cade Otton, right? If you're looking for a tight end, he's probably pretty rostered. But again, just because of all the injuries that Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are facing, he should be one that should be rostered and could be playable this weekend against the Saints. What if I mentioned Dalton Schultz here? Would you absolutely hate that for the Houston Texans? Because again, we're waiting on Nico Collins, right? He didn't practice yesterday. It's not looking good. I know that we're going to talk more about Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. But for Schultz, I know he was limited in practice earlier this week, but it looks like he should be good to go in this one. I don't mind putting him out if you need a tight end streamer this week.
Yeah, we saw Stroud go to him a lot. I mean, there are some pretty good options at tight end this week that you can stream. So, but keep an eye. You might need one because Mason Taylor did not practice yesterday. So we got to see if he goes.
Come on, Mason Taylor, AJ Brown. Can we just get it together, folks? It's everyone on my team.
No one
I
wants
feel
to play
like
for the Jets right now. They all want to tap out.
Kyle Monangai, flex spot will be it'll be I know Adam I'm saying it because I have to do it. All my running backs are gone, but Kyle Monangai
I
at
shouldn't
least
laugh. I
someone
have
that
some bad ones too.
Kyle Monangai at least someone that you should be stashing. I understand if you have to put him out there this week because of what we're doing, but in that week 7 win, I mean, he had season highs. He got the 15 touches, he had the total yards at 94, you had the fantasy points 17.4, scored his first touchdown in the NFL, but it I wouldn't love it. Again, they're going up against the Ravens, who we think should be turning things around right now, but at least someone to stash. I do have to flex him in one spot, though.
Yeah, look, let's, maybe DeAndre Swift too. Let's keep an eye on his injury as well. I mean, he's done this every week and then played, but, he's dealing with a groin issue. Monangai was really last week a product of the game script. So if you feel the Bears are going to be up in this one, yeah, and the Ravens' numbers against the run have been bad.
Yeah, they definitely had. And Adunze, man, he's not giving you much over these last couple of weeks. So let's see if that turns around as well. We're going through all your questions. It is time for that fantasy life water cooler news and notes coming up next. Time for that fantasy life water cooler, going through all the pieces of news that you might have missed and getting you ready for week 8 and setting all of those lineups accordingly. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you right here. Fantasy Life on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. Just have to remind you, not only are you going to fantasylife.com to sign up for that newsletter in your inbox 7 days a week, 100% free, but you also get Fantasy Life Plus for free for 1 year if you go to fantasylife.com/comet. COMET. That is where you want to go. Follow the 2-minute step-by-step guide. It is an AI-powered browser that you just download. And when you do that, you get all of our projections, our rankings, our analysis, the utilization report, everything that you've been looking at. And if you've been wanting, you can get it 100% free for the next year. fantasylife.com/comet, COMET. That is where you want to go. So we've got news here, Adam. We've got, of course, some updates, some good, some bad. Basically, players don't want to play this week. That's what I'm thinking. Let's start with the Jets because this will be big for. They haven't announced if it's Tyrod Taylor or Justin Fields going this week, which is it's the competitive advantage.
Yeah, the Bengals are they don't know what to do right now. They have no idea who's going to start. Their game plan is all thrown out the window.
It's all messed up.
They're going to be surprised, and it might catch the Bengals off guard, and the Jets might actually put up 7 points.
There we go. Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson missed another practice. Sauce is an interesting one for the other side of this with facing again the Cincinnati Bengals, but Garrett Wilson. They need anyone out there. And like you said, Mason Taylor has also been banged up. So if you have Mason Taylor as well, make sure you have just another option just in case, which stinks because this was going to be one where if you had Mason Taylor, and he could still be good to go, but he's in a really good spot this weekend just because of, like we said, all the other injuries going around with them. So I'm looking at Mason Taylor and hoping he's going to be able to go. But if you have Garrett Wilson, it looks like it might be another week without him, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Jets are on bye next week too, even though it feels like they've been on bye every week. But the matchup for the tight end against the Bengals is just great, which stinks if Taylor cannot play. Obviously, we'll be paying attention to that practice report today. But the Bengals are just getting destroyed by tight ends. They have allowed 9 touchdowns to tight ends this year. 9
Gosh,
in 7 weeks. And it doesn't matter who the tight end is. They're all scoring. Josh Oliver has scored against them. Brock Wright has scored against them. Darnell Washington. We saw that game against the Steelers where every tight end scored. So this is a great matchup for Mason Taylor. We need you out there.
And it looks like Joe Flacco has been an upgrade for this Cincinnati Bengals team on the other side. If you've got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, that has been an obvious boost. And Jamar Chase, he just basically says, whatever, I'm just going to find him and throw it up there and he'll come down with it. He saw 23 targets, career high target share, 51.1%. And obviously my wide receiver 1 going into this weekend as well. So it should be pretty good. Higgins has moved up as well. Chase Brown, You think we're going to follow up with a good Chase Brown game in this one? Or are you still a little bit on the fence with what we've seen? Because so far this season, it hasn't been good. Thank goodness we got a little bit out of him last week because I know Brown managers were not necessarily in the best place. This week, you're probably more than likely playing him because of all the teams on a bye. But what are your expectations for him in this one?
Yeah, I just would like to see a higher snap count because a lot of the optimism for Brown going into the year was, well, who else is going to play? It's his backfield. He's going to get massive volume because he wasn't very efficient last year. And since week 6, his snap rate is 58.2%. So
Yeah.
that's not great. The route share, too, is under 50% in that span, 6.5% target share. So that's not ideal. But he did at least break that long run, had 100 yards on 11 carries. The offensive line's done a little bit better job the last couple weeks, so it is a good matchup. So yeah, I
It
think
is.
you're obviously playing him, but I think you would like to see him get a little bit more volume and a little less Samaje Perine, who's been involved a little bit more the last couple games.
Yeah, this one, he looked better last week. And again, the overall expectations around this offense has moved up because of Joe Flacco being there. You've got a good team total in this one as well. So mid-range RB2 for me. And we've got, when I'm looking at our projections for just potential fantasy points, the Xfinity best ceiling ranks. So that's, at the very top, maybe one of the best games that he could have, puts him at 21.5 fantasy points. Again, you're looking at him, you're starting him this week because of everything else going on. And you just hope that he's able to keep it going here. So again, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner not practicing yesterday on Thursday. Forgot to put out the phone number though, Adam. My bad. 888-963-2682 is the phone number to call in. Also at K Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis over there on X. We see some of these questions coming in, so we'll try and get to as many as we can. Terry McLaurin, good news. Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel returned to full practice participants yesterday. So this is good news for one Marcus Mariota because we know that he is going to get the start on Monday. Again, if you missed that, Jaden Daniels will be sidelined with his hamstring injury, but you do get Mariota in this one, and it'll be a lot better for Marcus Mariota. You'll even feel a lot more comfortable if you need to stream him this week, Adam, if he does have his full complement of weapons in Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel. So this was a step in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely going to be a tough matchup here in Kansas City, but at least Mariota has going to get those two weapons back. He can run a little bit too. They'll be playing from behind, so he might scramble a bit, pick up, 30, 40 yards hopefully if you
Yeah.
are using him in a super flex league, or yeah, you might even be streaming him. Certainly that is a possibility this week with the 6 quarterbacks out, but good sign to get McLaurin and Debo back. Debo did say the heel is no longer an issue. I don't know if that's true, but it definitely impacted him the last time we saw him because he did not
Oh,
have a
yeah.
good game and he clearly did not look like he was right.
When's the Commanders bye week? Is that coming up?
For some reason, off the top of my head, I think it's 12, but I'm not sure if that's actually right.
Let me look. Let me look here. I just hope that it's
I think
only
it's
one
12
week.
or
Oh, it is
14.
12. It is
Yeah,
12.
12.
That's a
Okay.
long time. So then never mind. So that's with the Denver Broncos, the Chargers, the Dolphins, the Commanders. I saw a report earlier from Rappaport that said there is a quote real possibility Jaden Daniels hamstring he is only out for week 8 against the Chiefs. And I said, well, yeah, I'd hope so. I thought he was going to be okay. So that's the one thing. If you have Jaden Daniels, just hold on going into next week. Hold on to that backup quarterback that you have. That's going to be key here in case he is out for more than just 1 week. The week 9 teams on a bye are the Browns, the Jets, the Eagles, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I think that's the best piece of advice, Adam, is just hold on to any quarterback you pick up if you have Jaden Daniels, just in case he's not good to go. That
Yeah.
would stink. Can we not? What have we
Yeah,
done to
look,
deserve
he's
this?
been a frustrating pick this year because you were generally taking him as the fourth, fifth quarterback off the board, and it's just been the injuries and missing time and not been productive when on the field. So it's been a bad pick so far.
Yeah, it's not great. I got a question here from Felix saying, how are we feeling about Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt? Is he startable? I mean, I think this week, everyone kind of becomes startable on this one,
Yeah.
but that's been, I mean, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is another player where you look at the fantasy points scored and where some of these managers were taking him towards the end of draft season, and you are not, that's another player where you are just not happy with the production that has come out of there. So he had 4.2. He's really come out for two bad games here. 5.8 fantasy points, 4.2 weeks 6 and 7. So now again, they take on Kansas City, a little bit of a tougher defense there. Really, his two bigger games was the 27 points in week 5 against the Chargers, and then the next closest is New York Giants week 1, 14.2 fantasy points. So you're not happy with it.
No, and this is not a good game script for him because what we saw happen last week could possibly happen again. If they fall behind and they're consistently facing a double digit deficit, he just won't see the field much
Yeah.
because they're not going to use him in that pass catching role. I mean, they will throw passes to him, but if it's primarily a passing situation where they're trying to catch up, he won't see the field much. That's what happened last week. So he is dependent on them keeping this game close, maybe getting a touchdown early in the game. The touches have been there the last 3 weeks, 16 touches, 18 and 14. He just was not very good last week in a matchup that we all thought he could exploit against the Cowboys, but it did not happen. So it's
Yeah.
another tough matchup. So you just have to lower expectations for him this week.
Again, the phone number to call in, we see some calls coming in. Appreciate you guys. 888-963-2682, or you can press that new call in button if you're listening on the Sirius XM app. Also at Valenzuela17, at Adam Ronis over there on X is where you can go for any questions if you're just a little bit too busy and can't call in today. Saw an update, or a little bit, I guess I should say, of an update from John Lynch saying, quote, "I do think we're getting closer to Brock Purdy returning." Talk about a bad pick so far, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's obviously not because of his play, but that injury with the turf toe, not as bad as Joe Burrow's, but wow, that has kept him out a lot longer than I think we initially thought it was. And so you've seen Mac Jones go out there. Don't even
Oh,
ask. No,
oh.
don't.
I
I'm
didn't
not
hear
going to do
you.
it.
Sometimes,
No,
like,
nothing.
my hearing is not great.
Well then, well, I know that, but yeah. So it looks like he said that we've gotten, the quote was, "We've gotten so many opinions on this thing. It's been pretty consistent. He's doing a good job. We're taking the appropriate measures. What I can tell you is he gets better week after week." So again, this is one where you've been disappointed if you had Brock Purdy and had to pick someone else up. Mac Jones hasn't done an awful, like, he really hasn't done a bad job for them either. That's
Well,
the other
not
part
he's
of
not
this,
been
but.
great for fantasy though.
Well, no,
He has
not for
no
fantasy.
touchdowns the last two
No, not for
games.
fantasy. We're talking real life here. If you had Mac Jones if you had Mac Jones in fantasy, you are less than pleased. Let's just say it that way. 5.8 fantasy points, 11.1. The last good game that he had was 22 fantasy points against the Rams. And that was, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, look, the Niners are 5-2. They're 3-1 on the road, so they've gotten exactly what they needed from Mac Jones, and they just hope Purdy can come back sometime soon. Kittle came back last week, although you wouldn't have known it if you just looked at the box score, as he was an offensive lineman. But they're,
We got to put him in the parlay this
oh
week,
yeah,
right?
he's got to
Okay,
score,
thank
right?
goodness.
Yeah, he
Well,
has to.
yeah, he has to. He has to. Does Jawan Jennings have to score this week? What are we doing? That's another frustrating player if we're just on this game, because he told us that that he wasn't fully healthy, 10 rib injuries, 2 sprained ankles, whatever it was. That's me being a little bit sarcastic and dramatic there. But when he did play on that Sunday night game, 85% of the snaps and had a season high 29% target share, but he only came down with 31 yards and 4 catches. It was awful. I know that he's someone I'm going back and forth on just because I believe him when he says he's injured. I just can't believe he's out there playing with that many, whatever, broken ribs and injuries that he has. Are you playing him this week?
Uh, Again, this is a week where you might have to, right?
Yeah.
Depends on what your options are, but it is a tough matchup though.
Houston. Yeah.
Against Houston. Yeah, the one
It's
we know their offense is awful, but they are a good defense.
Their defense has allowed the 5th fewest fantasy points and only 3 touchdowns to receivers this season. Only 2 wide receivers have reached 14 fantasy points. And I don't think
JSN has to be one.
JSN is one. I don't think we're putting Juwan Jennings at JSN level
No.
or
Oh, and
Puka
Puka.
Nakua.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Puka. We're not doing that this season. So I have to start him in one, and I'm not happy about it. We're not going to look the whole way. That might just be my motto this weekend, Adam, is just set my lineups and forget them. check back in on Monday night. See
look,
how they go.
I think in deeper formats we don't have a lot of options this week. In more shallow formats, and some of our listeners and callers might still have tough decisions to make. But yeah, if you're playing in a league with like 20 roster spots, decisions are kind of made for you this week, and you are playing some guys that you don't want to, but you're like, well, I got no choice. Okay. They're active. Because I have seen some benches with like 6 players on bye. I mean, again, you could have 2 players from Detroit or even 3. It's certainly reasonable for that to happen. So there are people in some really tough spots this week. So it's really hard to say in general start sit, because the context for every team is different this week.
Let's go out to the phone lines now, though. 888-963-2682 is the phone number to call in. Let's go out to Clayton in Kansas. Clayton, what do you got for us? Wow. He's ready to go. Clayton,
Hello?
Do you have us? Yeah. Hey, Clayton, what do you got for
Clayton's
us?
in my building.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, of course.
I've got Ken Walker, and I handcuffed him as Zach Charbonnet, and I've got them both on bye, but I'm needing to drop one to fill a running back spot. And I wondered which one I could get rid of.
You have no one else to drop.
There's no one else?
No, not really. I've got Trey Benson I've been holding on to on the IR.
I don't know if I'd want to drop either of those guys, Adam, but I understand. I mean, you need fantasy points, so I get it.
Do you drop Benson?
Yeah, but if he's on the IR, doesn't that not matter?
Well, I don't know. Is he in an IR slot or on your bench?
On my bench.
Oh, then yeah. Would you not drop Benson?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't love dropping. And listen, I get it, because Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker have not been ideal starters, but we've talked about how there is a path for one of them, and we never want injuries, but that is the path as well. And it's got to be tough with those two as handcuffs, because it's really been Zach Charbonnet who they've still been giving work, even though he hasn't looked as good. He did last week. I'll give him that with those touchdowns that he scored, but I wouldn't want to drop either of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, Benson went on arthroscopic surgery to repair a meniscus tear, and that recovery time was projected to be 4 to 6 weeks. So he definitely can't return in week 9 and maybe week 10. It could be longer. So I know you don't want to drop him, but this is one of those times you have to make tough decisions. So I think it would be him, and then worst case scenario, you can go pick him back up.
Appreciate you calling in, Clayton. Did you say he was in your building? Why? Because it was loud?
Yeah.
Your building's fine now. Everything's fixed.
Yeah, it's cool for now.
Great.
Now you just mentioned something. You're going to.
Okay, going over to the questions over there on Twitter, on X. I see one from Kenny here saying, do I ride with Travion Henderson one more week or go with Kyle Monungai? At least my other running back is CMC. At least your other running back is CMC, so you don't have to feel as bad about this. So Travion Henderson, I don't know, Adam. He could have a big week because I rage dropped him. So he's in. We've
been saying this every week. Now, I am actually starting him in one league, not because I want to. I just have no better options. But I would go Monungai here.
I would too. It's actually not even close in my rankings for the week. He's RB 32 for me, and then Henderson has it is a little bit closer than I thought. Henderson is 40, RB 40. Again, that's a tough.
Look, you do not want to start Henderson, but again, I can tell you personally that I don't have a better option in one league. That's how bad the running backs are on that team. I think it's bye weeks, but either way, it's not something you want to do. We have just seen this over and over. It is not getting better. It is getting worse. He played 14% of the snaps last week.
Yeah, it's just brutal. I'm telling you, he's going to have a good week now.
It'll probably
be one of the toughest matchups. And
once everyone benches him,
then he goes
universally, that's it. He's going to go off.
How it works in fantasy football. All right. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us here. That was the Fantasy Life water cooler. Again, fantasylife.com. That's where you can go /Comet, COMET. That is where you can go to get Fantasy Life Plus free for 1 year. It is an AI-powered browser that acts as, whatever a personal assistant, thinking partner, helps you get updates on player injuries, coach speak, rankings, all that stuff. Fantasylife.com/Comet, and that is where you can get Fantasy Life Plus for free for 1 year. It's time for Go Hard or Go Home. We're going to see which players are going to go hard for our teams, which ones might be going home here, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade, coming up next. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to have Xfinity, all the games all in one place. And here is what you get when you watch sports with Xfinity. You get the Sports Zone, every pro football game and over 1,000 college games, highlights and alerts all in one place. You can also get the multi-view. You can be in up to 4 stadiums at once. Also the Xfinity Fan View, live scores, odds, and stats all in one place, personalized to you. You get enhanced 4K and the voice remote where you can just say football. Imagine all your football all in one place, easy. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Oh, it's been a while, Adam. Sabrina?
I know. What
Sabrina
happened?
Carpenter? Oh my goodness. She's coming here in November. Do you want to fly in and we should go to the Sabrina Carpenter concert
Yeah,
together?
if you get the tickets, I'm in.
No, okay, then don't book your ticket. Producer Ani would go with me. Ani would, I think
I
Ani
don't know,
loves
would he?
Sabrina. Yeah,
You
Sabrina
like
Carpenter
Sabrina
is good.
Carpenter?
She's she's
Yeah,
good.
we'd be front row, Adam. What are you talking about?
Yes, there we
Okay.
go, Ani. Thank
Make it
you.
happen.
Ani went to Tate McRae, I think, too. I mean, he's
Yeah,
living.
duh. I went to Tate McRae 2 years
Oh,
ago before she was big time.
wow. See, he's in on it, Adam. So there you go. You want to join us for? I bet those tickets are expensive. Oh my goodness. Never mind. We might be up in the
Oh,
at
come
the
on.
very
You
top,
got
but-
money.
Are you crazy? Are you crazy? No, we might be
Yes,
up
I
at the
am
very
crazy.
top, but at least we're gonna be there. So shout out to Sabrina Carpenter. Hashtag not an ad. Hashtag not an ad. All right, we're getting into Go Hard or Go Home here, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade. Because we know we always want to start the guys that we think are going to go hard for our leagues, just like Mike's Hard Lemonade does for us. So I want to start off, of course, with the one that disappointed us the most last week, George Kittle. George Kittle, Adam, does he go hard this week or does he go home? He ran only 24 routes, was targeted only twice, and gave us the double zeros in the fantasy box scores. So go hard or go home with George Kittle.
All right, you're never going to hear hard hitting analysis like this, but it is National Tight Ends Day. George Kittle is a big part of it. How could he not produce on that day? So he is going to go hard for sure.
There we go. Love that. Is that all the analysis?
Well, okay, I will
No,
say
I'm kidding,
this.
I'm
So
kidding.
I think we brought it up yesterday, but be very careful when you're looking at the tight end numbers. You got to look at what tight ends are faced by the team. So like Houston gives up the 5th fewest fantasy points at a tight end position. They face the Rams, who outside of the London game don't use the tight ends much, and Puka was out. Kate Otten, who at that time, remember, Evans was healthy, you had Igbuka, so we know Otten doesn't play a big role at that point. Brenton Strange, who had 6 for 61 on 7 targets. Gunnar Helm and Okonkwo. I mean, the Titans can't complete a pass. Mark Andrews, who's like, without Lamar Jackson, not good. And then your boy Elijah Arroyo and Barner. And Arroyo had 4 for 42, but they don't use the tight ends much, so they really haven't been tested. And Kittle is matchup proof when he's not an offensive lineman.
Yeah, when he's not out there just doing nothing for us. I'm agreeing with you. I think he goes hard as well. We'll I've seen some people message about the tight end parlay. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that at the very end of the show, and we'll put it together, and we'll just make a ton of money together, and it'll be great. But I'm with you.
And then
Go
this
hard
way you'll have money for the tickets.
There we go. Okay, so if we win this parlay, will you come to Sabrina Carpenter concert?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We've got that on tape, Ani. So
Doesn't
we can
mean
just
that I'm
clip
going to
that.
be sitting in my seat the whole time.
No. Well, what do you mean?
You said, will I be there? I could be like roaming around looking for
You're not going to
things.
spend that money on tickets and roam around. You don't even
No,
do that
you're
for
paying
baseball
for the
games.
tickets.
Oh, but we're doing the
Yes.
parlay.
Right. With
Yeah,
your
okay.
money.
Okay, got it. My money. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. I'll take it. Jalen Knoll, Jaden Higgins. If we don't see Nico Collins this week, which it looks like we might not, still in the concussion protocol, was not practicing yesterday. We'll have to wait and see what the practice report says today. Christian Kirk also was not practicing. They could find way bigger roles this weekend between Jalen Knoll and Jaden Higgins. I actually might like Knoll a little bit more in this spot, and he also might be more available than Jaden Higgins. But Knoll had a 27% targets per route run rate last week, had 11.7 fantasy points. Not mind-blowing there, but I do think if we don't have Nico Collins, if we don't have Christian Kirk, that both of these guys could be, mid-range wide receiver 4s, and they do have the upside. I know, again, that it has not been fun to watch with CJ Stroud. The Texans have not necessarily been a phenomenal offense, but the 49ers are a bit banged up. They give up 265 yards, 1.8 touchdowns over the last 4 games.
Yeah, with all that said, and I will probably be starting a couple of these guys in leagues, I cannot say go hard. I will have to say go home. It's just this Texans offense has been abysmal. Yeah, they'll have a role, and maybe both of them should have been playing more to start the season, but sometimes with rookies it comes along slowly. This is not a game with a low total like 40-41. So I can't say go hard. I'm going to say go home.
All right, fine. Go home. I'm playing Noel. Let me just say that.
No, I'm probably
It's so
playing
unfortunate.
both across different leagues.
Yeah. I mean, there's a chance. Again, I would agree with not going necessarily hard, but someone has to step up in this offense with no Collins, no Kirk potentially. So that's why I say if you have them, you can feel a little bit better about it. What about Tez Johnson? Go hard or go home for Tampa Bay with Mike Evans placed on IR officially. Chris Godwin not going to be in this one. I am really worried about Bucky Irving too, by the way, and that injury that's going on. So we'll have to wait and see when he's able to come back. But you've got 3 of those guys down this week. Of course, that means Emeka Egbuka to the moon, but they're going to rely on other guys. I think Cade Otton is a good guy to go and get off waivers. He was probably already picked up, but he's a good streamer this week. Go hard or go home, though, for Tez Johnson.
I will say go hard. It's a pretty good
Okay.
matchup. He's on the field a lot, 74% of the routes last week, and he's a playmaker. You see it. Now, he does make some mistakes. He ran into Mike Evans, so he definitely needs to learn the playbook a little bit better. But even with that, they kept him in there, and he's got that speed and burst, so he can make a big play. So, yeah, I will say, especially with all the bye weeks, that we will give a go hard to Tez Johnson.
All right, I like that. New Orleans has allowed the 8th highest EPA against the pass, has kind of struggled against perimeter receivers, so like the 8th most points allowed there. So I think, Egbuka, Tez Johnson, Sterling Shepard is probably the one that's the lowest in my rankings going into this week. But that's, expected because of what's going on. So I think all those guys, though, against this team could be upgrades. And you just hope that Tez Johnson goes hard for your team. We already mentioned Chase Brown, but one more time for Chase Brown. Can you say go hard just to give us some
it's playing the
good-
Jets.
Okay.
It's a good
Good
environment.
vibes. Good vibes.
Let's just hope that he can find the end zone or, maybe get a little bit more of the usage. We see less Samaje Perine, but definitely encouraging signs. Last week, the extra few days, and a Jets team that I don't know if they want to even be there. And Aaron Glenn stated again today, he is not sharing who his quarterback
That is
is.
so stupid. Okay. What the competitive advantage?
It's like,
I just
is Aaron Glenn trying to pull a George Costanza and get fired?
stop. No, he's not. That's a good reference though.
Yeah.
I like that. But I don't know what you do with, I mean, I saw people drop Justin Fields and now it's just like, well, wait a second, because they said now that Tyrod Taylor's day to day with a knee injury.
Well, yeah.
It's
So,
just a mess. It's just a mess.
so my reasoning for dropping Fields in one of my leagues was Caleb Williams is my quarterback. Not that I feel great about it, but I'm starting him, and Fields is on bye next week. So if Fields doesn't play this week and he's on bye next week, then I'm not really worried about it at this point. And yeah,
I'm with
Fields
you.
could always come back at some point. I mean, he might even start this week for all we know. And Fields can turn it around, but it's just you're not going to feel good about starting him because you're worried
No.
that he can give you 6 points.
It's just been really bad. I said at the beginning of the year that it was nice for Fields because he didn't have to look over his shoulder this year with the money that they gave him
Apparently
and
not.
everything else. And
It-
I guess you can play so poorly that is completely untrue. So
But yet, see, sometimes these things don't make sense because I don't know how you feel with the Hubbard Dowdle situation, but to me, Dowdle should be starting. He's been better. He was better last week. Like, forget about the contract at this point with Hubbard. Who cares? Like, play the better guy if you want to win games. Right now, Dowdle's better. And until he cools off, he should be the starter. And I'm saying this as someone who has no Dowdle and does have Hubbard in the league. So it has nothing to do with my personal feelings. But we've seen what Dowdle has done. And again, Dowdle did this last year with Dallas. Not 200 yards, but go look at what Dowdle did down the stretch. He was a solid running back. Hubbard, what has Hubbard done this year to say, all right, the job is yours? I get it. You don't want to lose a job due to injury, but Dowdle was the better back last week.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. I just think that sometimes whether it's the money or everything else, where they just say we want to have balance, because it was a 4-year, $33.2 million contract extension. So I think that comes into play with these coaches making those decisions. I mean, we say the same thing about the Seahawks. The Seahawks are one that we say that about as well, where I mean, Charbonnet, again, last week, a little bit different there, but going into that game, it was not like Charbonnet was running away with that backfield and looking way better to be able to get the touches that he has and get given a little bit more than Charbonnet, than Kenneth Walker. So that's the thing that's most disappointing. I'm playing both Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard this week, obviously across different leagues, because if they're just going to do that, I think until they turn to the hot hand, which I agree with you, I do think that would be Rico Dowdle. I think you're able to put both of them out there, is what I should say.
Yeah. No, I mean, this week too. And again, it is a good matchup. Buffalo has struggled against the run.
Hey, Chase Brown, just wanted to hit this one more time. Buy low candidate right now? Do you want to do that before so they're on a stretch where they're playing New York this week, and then they have Chicago. Then it's their bye week. I'm really looking at this more from obviously the fantasy perspective here, Adam, where week 15, they play Baltimore. Again, you've mentioned this. We don't know what kind of team Baltimore could be in that week 15 matchup. That defense could really turn things around. Then they play Miami. Then they play Arizona. But are you trying to get in on him before maybe I don't want to say he takes off, because I don't think that is in the wheelhouse for him, but he could continue to get better week in and week out.
Yeah, again, it really comes down to, and there's no way to predict this because once we see it, then maybe the price changes. But it's what's the distribution going to be of touches and snaps? Because again, the volume is not there for Chase Brown right now. That's not what we expected at the beginning of the year, right? If you look, week 1, he had 23 touches, then he had 18. Then since then, 14, 13, 15, 11, 13. So
yeah,
it's been going down. And is that something that sticks? And boy, his receiving yards too, they have not been there. He has -1 receiving yards the last 2 games. He has 4 catches for -1 yards the last 2 games, and 1 touchdown on the season. So you're looking at this saying, yeah, they've had a tough schedule, and Browning was in there. So I guess you could try and buy low, hoping that it turns around.
Last one, go hard or go home. Romeo Doubs for the Packers. Just shout out to Romeo Doubs. He's been their top receiver through 7 games, averaging 13.1 points per game. Has a near full-time role since week 3.
Yeah, I think you have to say go hard.
Woo.
The Steelers have really struggled, second most fantasy points per game to receivers, and Dontavian Wicks is out with a calf injury. We know Matthew Golden is still there, but Christian Watson could make his debut, but
yeah,
probably not going to play a lot. So right now, Dobbs and Tucker Kraft are like 2 guys they're relying on with Golden mixed in. So yeah, they spread it around, but not as many options now. And Dobbs has become a fixture and a good bet to score a touchdown.
Yeah, 3 consecutive top 30 fantasy days. And again, a really nice boost in targets is where you're seeing that come from. So he might be taking his game to the next level. We might also, again, see hopefully a little bit more Matthew Golden. Christian Watson, probably going to be limited in that return, but we'll see what he gets once he's out there. Again, that was Go Hard or Go Home here, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade. We're going to continue on matchup highs and lows, some highlights with Bo Nix, a little bit more with maybe potentially Matthew Golden, and some lows, Jalen Waddle, Mason Taylor. We're going to go through it here coming up next. Hopefully everyone's having a great start or a great, lunchtime. We're getting close to lunch for Happy Friday. That's really what I just should have said. Happy
breakfast
Friday.
For me.
Breakfast? You ate breakfast?
No, I didn't.
Oh, what are you going to have?
I don't know.
Breakfast sounds amazing.
Well, for you,
bagel?
It still is. Well, no, it's
sure.
actually, it's almost dinner for you, right?
Get out of here. What are you doing? Stop it. Stop it. You've got my mom saying that. Yeah, it's just crazy. She goes, "You're still up?" I'm like, "Mom, whose side are you on here?" It's just crazy to me. Should we dress up next week for Halloween? A week from today?
I don't know.
What?
You want to?
I'll just be a sad Mariners fan.
Okay.
Already am.
You have been all week.
It's my life. No costume needed. I can just show up as myself. Well, I don't know. What could we? Yeah. Oh, we could be Sabrina Carpenter. That would be fun. You get a wig? No? Okay.
No.
That's fine. We could just play all of our favorite songs. Taylor Swift. Chapel Roan. We haven't had Chapel Roan here in a
Oh
minute.
boy.
Oh, gee, okay, fine. Whatever. FantasyLife.com. This is where you want to go for all of when we're talking about all of our articles, they are there 100% free. Same with our newsletter. So make sure you sign up for that. I just wanted to finish off here with some of the highs and lows that you can look at. I think a matchup that and he wasn't practicing, but Jalen Waddle, Jalen Waddle for the Dolphins. This is going to be a tough one going up against the Falcons. We said last week, again, maybe one that you want to downgrade. But this offense is just a mess. They have the 5th worst offensive efficiency rating in the team's 3 games without Tyreek Hill. It's just really disappointing. And again, the Falcons defense looks really good. So he's been one of my biggest fallers actually this week going into week 8.
Yeah, look, the other side of it is now if he is able to play, because I think I did see something though that McDaniel said Waddle's expected to play. So you're probably starting him. You're hoping that the volume trumps the tough matchup here. Because again, like what else do they have at this point?
Yeah.
Darren Waller's on IR. So they really don't have much of a receiver. So yeah, I think you're gonna, if you have Waddle, you're probably starting him. But yeah, this Falcons defense has been unbelievable. Second fewest fantasy points to the wide receiver position. They haven't allowed a 100-yard receiver this year. The most yards against them was Justin Jefferson back in week 2, and that was 3 for 81.
Yeah.
Now they did go against San Francisco, Buffalo, Washington with no McLaurin. Debo had 6 for 72. Ted McMillan 3 for 48. So, and Igbuka had 2 touchdowns against them in week 1. That's right. You can't shut down Igbuka. Come on. I don't care how good you are. But yeah, with Waddle, you're probably playing him, right? And you're just hoping that he gets like 10, 12 targets and can do something with it. Because again, there's no one else in this offense right now besides Achane that you're starting at this point.
Nope. It's just been again, just disappointing here. But yeah, we'll monitor Jalen Waddle. That reminds me, I officially, they said this a couple minutes ago. Ian Rappaport reported this. Garrett Wilson is out for this game this weekend. Same with Sauce Gardner. Not having him in this one is also big. But Aaron Glenn has not yet announced the starting quarterback. I do not know when we will get that, but that's the one thing we have to wait on. But officially, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner are out for week 8.
Yeah, not surprising with Garrett Wilson. The hope is he can return after their bye week. But, boy, that offense without Garrett Wilson is just a complete disaster.
I think Mason Taylor, I didn't see.
Yeah, they haven't said anything about him.
Yeah, let me look here. I haven't seen him. I need him to play.
Get him to play in this matchup
so badly. I have no update yet on him. We'll probably be getting that though in the next few minutes with them going out to practice. But again, yeah, you're not going to have Garrett Wilson, not going to have Sauce Gardner this weekend. Last one here that I just wanted to hit because we've talked a little bit about the Indianapolis Colts. They're going to be at home in this game. Tennessee Titans, you starting anyone over there? Calvin Ridley. I haven't seen an update on Calvin Ridley actually.
I think he retired.
Stop, get out of here. Well, he hasn't been doing anything for our fantasy
it feels
team,
like he's retired.
Feels like he hasn't been out there, so I could understand that one. But I will say on the other side of this, even though the Colts have been really good, they have allowed the most fantasy points to wide receivers this season. Not to say that might continue against this Tennessee Titans team. Obviously, is going through a lot. Cam Ward is not stepping up yet. I do think he has the skill set and everything he needs and the talent, but it's been bad for Calvin Ridley. It's been not great for Alec Iomanner. So what do you think with either of those guys? It's really the only ones.
Yeah, they'll be playing from
behind, I guess.
They'll be playing from behind, right? We saw the Colts destroy them back, I think it was week 3. There's the second matchup of the season. Yeah, I look Iomanner in a deeper format. You could probably look at, and the running backs are a problem at this point because it's a split.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Which means probably Spears is, if they're playing from behind, he's more of the pass catching back at this point. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess Pollard did also get some.
I'm playing both, to be honest. Again, not by choice. If I had my way, it wouldn't be like that. But I do have to start both of those guys across different leagues. That's just where we're at here, Adam. So we're going to continue on. Speaking of favorite flex plays for the week, we're building our parlay to the anytime touchdowns for the tight ends for National Tight Ends Day so that we can win money and then go to the Sabrina Carpenter concert together. And we'll bring Ani. Are we bringing Ani? You don't. Yeah.
Yeah, we can bring him.
Okay. All right. Thank goodness. All right. We'll see. We'll see if we can get that to happen here. We're going to do all of that coming up next. Oh, it is Friday. Just go ahead and leave work. Adam told me to tell you, go to lunch. Don't come back.
Never said
Appreciate
those
everyone
words.
If you're on the West Coast, I guess don't show up. No, just go to work. Go to work. But get ready for the National Tight Ends Day that we have here coming up on Sunday. You ready to build this parlay out? You
Yeah,
ready?
let's do it.
All right. So what did Matthew Berry say yesterday? He wanted Tyler Warren.
Yes, he said Tyler Warren.
Okay, so we have to put in Tyler Warren. We already messed up because we didn't put in Oronde Gadsden since it wasn't on the actual Monday. But let's start with Tyler Warren. All right, so he's going to be our first one. Anytime touchdown scorer. That's what we're building right here for Sunday's game. So no Travis Kelce. You don't want Travis Kelce because he plays Monday? You don't think he puts an exclamation mark
No.
on national title? Oh, okay. So where do you want to go next?
Kittle, right? Don't we have to go Kittle?
If that man puts up zeros and no touchdown in this game, I'm going to scream. I think we have to put in George Kittle, though. It's really George Kittle and Travis Kelce's thing, right?
Yeah,
Are we
I
missing
believe
anyone?
Kittle for sure, right?
Yeah, I think so. All right, we have to put some gross ones in here though. Ones that we're gonna
we do?
like sweat. Well, yeah. Why you
Why?
want just chalk the whole
I
time?
thought the goal was to win.
Well, and make a lot and make money so we can go to Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay.
What do you think about Kate Otten?
Uh,
Or Dalton Schultz? That one's pretty gross too.
it's the Texans offense. I don't know.
Cade? Harold Fannin.
What if
No,
Njoku
because David
plays?
Njoku could be back. Okay, who else do you want? Tell me.
He's questionable, but Dalton Kincaid.
He's gonna play. I think he's trending in the right direction, right? That's the
Yeah.
last I saw.
Well,
Okay.
he didn't play I don't know. He didn't play the last game.
Okay. We're really doing well here. How about Mason Taylor? You want a Mason Taylor touchdown? That one's
I mean,
pretty...
if he plays, all right, I'll throw him in there.
Okay,
let's see
throw
what
him in.
his. All right, so far this is on FanDuel Sportsbook. With those two, it's plus 534.
With Tyler Warren, George Kittle?
Yeah, so if Mason
have to do at
Taylor
least- we
is
have to do
plus
at least
260, so that gives us plus 2183 with those three.
You want one more or
And
no?
we're really going to rely on the Jets to score. Okay.
Okay. Who else do you want? Who else do you want to do?
Ferguson's got to be in the mix, right?
Okay. I actually like Ferguson in this one
Do you?
against the Broncos.
You said
how
you wanted
about
a gross.
Tucker-
You
how
want a
about Tucker
gross one?
Kraft? You want
Kraft's
Tucker
not
Kraft?
bad. Colston Loveland with no Cole
Colston
Kmet.
Loveland would be gross. Are we really going to rely on the Bears to get it done? That could be fun though.
They are playing the Ravens, who's again
Ooh.
had a lot of injuries, defense.
Okay, Tyler Warren, George Kittle, Colston Loveland.
You want me to put
Yuck.
Colston Loveland in?
What do you think? And then who else do we have?
Mason Taylor.
Mason Taylor. Who are we changing Mason Taylor out for? if
That
he
is
doesn't
true.
play?
In case he's out, we'd have to
Yeah.
replace
Who
him.
do you want there?
Where's Colston Loveland? He is plus 270, same as Komet. Damn, see, you're getting. They're not going to give good odds.
They're not
for tight
giving
ends
you.
this week.
They're not giving
Andrews
you.
is plus
Wait,
195.
what about? Because remember what I said earlier in the week? Jackson Dart seems like a guy that would absolutely
yeah.
love a National Tight End Day. So a one Theo Johnson, Daniel Bellinger is questionable, I think still, but I think he's good to play. You want either one of them? This is getting
That's-
gross.
Yeah. Who else? Oh, Dallas Goddard.
Oh yeah, we could do Goddard.
He destroyed the Giants last time. And if AJ Brown's out,
Yeah, you want Goddard?
all he does is score touchdowns.
I was
Either
gonna say that's
catches
all
a
he
pa-
does.
He scores touchdowns, so he does nothing like last year.
Okay,
Plus 175. I mean, his odds.
I know.
Jeez, man.
I
All right.
know.
Well, that 5-leg parlay, if we put
Five.
$10
them
on
is
that,
crazy.
it would win 23-13.
Okay, we
Now
could
it's
definitely go to
Kittle,
a Sabrina.
Warren, Mason Taylor, Loveland,
God,
and
that's a lot.
Goddard. I
Goddard.
know.
Do you want one out
But
of
people
there?
are going to be doing this all week. And
Exactly. That's why it's fun. I like it. I
so
think we lock it in.
If Taylor's out, Tucker Kraft as the replacement?
Yeah, if Mason Taylor's out, let's do Tucker Kraft.
Okay.
I like it. Look at us go. Anytime. What does that equal out to? What are the total parlay odds?
$10 to win, 23-13.
Oh yeah. And then we go to Sabrina Carpenter, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Is that enough money
Totally.
for her tickets?
No, probably not. And you have to get a plane ticket and you're bringing Ani. So yikes. You're spending more than I am.
All right, we're gonna
But
have
I'll
to
drive
add
us.
someone
How's
else to
that?
this then.
I'll drive us to the venue. How about that? All right, just to finish things off, that's our National Tight End Day parlay. Let's finish things off here, Adam, with our favorite flex plays for the week. Or I say favorite very lightly, but the flex plays that you might be turning to here. Just want to say again, because we got a couple questions on Alec Pierce going into the week, and I don't think this is necessarily a bad option here because he is the top deep threat over the last the last few games, the last few seasons really. So he's got a nice target share here for 18%, sitting at 18%. We have good projections for him. I like him this week.
Yeah, Josh Downs could be back, but yeah, if you're taking a deep shots down the field, Pierce still seems to have that connection with Daniel Jones there. So I think you might get a potential long touchdown out of him, and that's what you're hoping for, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to see probably, my guess is, some low scores this week, right?
I hope not, but yes, it is going to be low scores. I've seen some of my projected fantasy totals, and it's
I
bad.
have too. I looked at some of them. I was like, wow, these are low totals. And again, with some of these star players out, we're going to be plugging in guys that are not projected to do well.
Tyler Algier. What about him for a flex? This might actually be a good one here, because again, Tyler Algier has gotten good work, and I think with this game script, even though I mean they're favorites in this game, obviously, but I really like him. If you're looking down your depth chart and you have him as one of your handcuffs to Bijan Robinson, I'm playing him.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. If you look at the two games that he had low touches, they lost 30-0 and 20-10. All the other games they won, he had at least double-digit carries in all of them. So they're going to be playing from ahead. Bijan will get his yards. We've seen Algier, too. They even put him in there with Bijan lined up in the slot or out wide. So, yeah, this is a good week to flex Algier if you're desperate or hurting at running back.
Who's your survivor pick this week? I didn't even ask you that.
I have Colts are one, and I think the Falcons might be another.
Ooh, I picked the Falcons as well, and I got the Bills. I haven't played the Bills yet, so I think I'm going to do that this week.
I don't know about that.
Stop it. Don't get out of here. Everyone enjoy your weekend. We will be back same time on Monday.